I, Daniel, never believed in ghosts. My friend Maxim always joked about it, suggesting we visit creepy places. We often looked for abandoned buildings to film something for our YouTube channel. Viewers liked it, views grew steadily. This time, we chose an old barbershop. Rumor had it, its owner suddenly vanished many years ago. Whispers said he died right in the chair. Others claimed he simply left, abandoning everything as is. The front door was locked, but a window was broken. We easily snuck inside, armed with our cameras. The air smelled of dust and something else. Something old, musty, and slightly sweet, like decaying flowers. Maxim immediately noticed the old barber chair. It stood right in the middle, as if awaiting a client. "Daniel, sit down. I'll give you the scariest haircut of your life," he laughed, pushing me in the back. I waved him off, but he was persistent. Finally, I gave in, deciding to play along for the content. The chair springs creaked as I sat down. Cold metal touched my neck. Creepy, but also amusing. Maxim pretended to cut my hair, mimicking a clipper's buzz. I even felt a slight breeze. "There, done. Now you're a handsome devil," he said cheerfully, and I stood up, brushing off non-existent hair. We laughed, took a few more shots, and made our way outside. The sun seemed especially bright after the darkness. The next day, I noticed something strange. My hair, which had been quite long, was now shorter. I distinctly remembered not cutting it yesterday. Maybe I just imagined it? Or was I so tired I forgot? That night, I had a nightmare. I was sitting in that chair, and invisible scissors were cutting my hair. In the morning, I found several dark, thin hairs on my pillow. Not mine at all, they were too black. Gradually, I started feeling different. My usually calm nature became irritable, impatient. I began forgetting important things, mixing up familiar names. My memory seemed to slip through my fingers. Maxim noticed the changes. "What's up, dude? You're so jumpy, like you haven't slept in a week." I tried to joke it off, but anxiety was building inside me. This wasn't just fatigue, it was something else. One day, passing by a mirror, I saw my reflection slightly lag. Just by a fraction of a second. I blinked, and it blinked back. But with a slight delay. A chill ran down my spine. I started noticing small scratches on my body that weren't there before. They appeared out of nowhere. Sometimes, when I lay down to sleep, I felt as if someone was breathing right next to my ear. A cold, alien breath. Phone calls from unknown numbers became common. No one answered, just silence, filled with ominous sounds. I decided to go back to that barbershop. Alone, without Maxim. I needed to understand what happened there. When I entered, the smell was stronger, unbearable. And this time, it wasn't sweet, but bitter and metallic. On the floor, around the chair, lay hair. Lots of hair. It was dark, tangled, almost alive. I reached out to touch it. One of the hairs curled like a worm and recoiled from me. I felt unwell. My head spun, I felt nauseous. This wasn't just my imagination. I saw the shadows in the corners of the room grow thicker. They moved, slowly, almost imperceptibly, but they moved. From deep within the room, a quiet, almost indiscernible whisper emerged. It called my name. My name. I backed towards the exit, but something grabbed my leg. It was a clump of hair, wrapping around my ankle. Panic consumed me. I struggled, trying to break free, but the hair held tight, like a dead man's grip. Dark, damp stains appeared on the walls. They slowly spread, forming eerie patterns. The whisper grew louder, taking shape, turning into words. "Give back what you took," the voice hissed. My hair on my head began to prickle, as if someone was pulling it from inside. It was unbearably painful. I fell, trying to untangle the hair from my leg. In that moment, I saw him. The barbershop owner. He stood in the doorway of the far room. His face was pale, his eyes black voids. He looked dead, yet he moved. And he was bald, completely bald. Not a single hair on his head. In his hand were huge scissors. They gleamed in the dim light, casting sinister shadows. He slowly moved towards me, making strange, hissing sounds. "You took my hair, now I'll take yours." I realized. He didn't die in the chair. He remained there. His spirit was bound to this place. And I, by sitting in his chair, disturbed his peace. I took something that belonged to him. His life force. My strength was fading. I felt energy draining from me, as if I was being siphoned. The hair on the floor around me stirred, rising like snakes. They were reaching for me. The ghost raised the scissors. I closed my eyes, awaiting the inevitable. This was the end. But suddenly, Maxim's scream echoed. He burst into the barbershop, with a flashlight and his phone. The flashlight's beam hit the ghost. It hissed, recoiling as if burned by the bright light. The hair on the floor retreated, loosening its grip on my leg. I managed to break free, feeling incredibly weak. Maxim rushed to me, helping me up. "Daniel, what's going on here? Are you okay?" The ghost stood motionless, its gaze fixed on us. It didn't move, but its presence was palpable. I gasped, but managed to croak, "Run! Quick!" We dashed for the exit, without looking back. We ran out into the street, breathing heavily. The sun was setting, painting the sky in unsettling colors. I looked at Maxim. He was pale, his eyes wide with horror. He saw it too. We never returned to that barbershop. Never even went near it. But sometimes, at night, I feel a light touch on my neck. And I hear a quiet, cutting sound. And every morning I check my hair. Just to make sure it's still there. Because I know he's waiting. Waiting for his moment. And his new, cursed haircut.